The CDC is issuing a health advisory about several cases of severe liver inflammation in children. Bradley Blackburn breaks down the numbers and explains what doctors say could be causing it.
The CDC is alerting doctors and public health authorities about a cluster of children identified with hepatitis or liver inflammation and infection with adenovirus. 9 children under 10 were diagnosed in Alabama from October to February, 2 in North Carolina. Doctors at UAB Children's Hospital treated the Alabama cases.
What was odd was just the frequency of how often these children were coming, and the fact that each one of them tested positive for adenovirus.
2 patients needed liver transplants. While the cause remains unclear, health officials are investigating the possible link to adenovirus, which typically causes mild to severe respiratory illness, fever, sore throat, and pink eye. Several of the Alabama cases were positive for a specific adenovirus.
It can also cause gastrointestinal distress, things like nausea, vomiting, diarrhea. Adenovirus type 41, as far as we can tell, has never been associated with significant liver injury. And all of these children did have, or most of them had, GI type symptoms and then developed, of course, the hepatitis on top of that.
Dr. Wes Stubblefield with the Alabama Department of Public Health says symptoms of liver inflammation can vary.
It might look like their belly was particularly big. You can also see yellowing of the eyes or skin, something we call jaundice, which is absolutely unusual, especially in an otherwise healthy person.
The hepatitis cases were first identified in Britain, 74 since January. Health officials expect more cases will be picked up with increased surveillance. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Health officials in Alabama say none of those children had a history of recently being infected with COVID, and none of them had been vaccinated against COVID-19. Well, there's still a huge gender gap in the field of science and engineering, but an inspiring group of young girls is defying that trend and learning how to protect the environment. The teens have turned a Harlem park into their own science lab, using dirt, grass, and sticks to create a functional water filter. Through the Green Girls program, the young women meet weekly for hands-on lessons about the environment and how to protect it. Women make up less than 28% of science, tech, engineering, and math jobs, but the program manager says with the right encouragement, that could change.
A lot of stigma against young women in school, being able to answer questions, voicing their concerns about something, and just getting the ability to speak. It allows them to build their voice, be surrounded by other young women their age, but also be able to facilitate that ability to be inquisitive.
Now they're sharing what they've learned and how to teach it with educators all across the country. You can find the entire curriculum for Green Girls at cityparksfoundation.org.